Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online radio box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go. Okay, y'all, here we are. I'm sorry. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you live. And we here on another episode of the Jeff Relevant Show on WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago. Now, okay. I said a couple things when y'all couldn't hear me, when I had to tap in this mic real quick. But we in the game now. And y'all see the title underneath the little moniker and everything, you know. It says communication and understanding. Because we got to talk about some stuff today. Y'all know how it is with me. Okay, all good now. Thank you, Felice. Thank you, ma'am. You know, we in the game now, baby. This is what we do. We come on. We talk about some things today. And I'm not coming on with the normal announcements. I'm still trying to get all of that together. So y'all bear with me on this. So what I'm going to do is your boy is just going to dive right in to the nature of the conversation for today. So y'all, I went through a situation at work, okay? And with this situation at work, sometimes you got to snap on people because people don't pay attention and they don't listen to what you say. And, I kind of look back on this and I said to myself, you know what? Maybe I could have gained a little more clarity. Maybe I could have gained a little more understanding. Maybe I didn't have to go off the particular way that I did when I was at work today, on this particular day. Maybe it just wasn't the right time for your boy, Life Coach Jeff, right? Maybe something else just had to occur in order, right? In order to get everything together and in line, So what I tend to think is this. Sometimes what we tend to do is the big saying is perception is reality. And the thing is, if sometimes you don't get information and nobody comes to correct you on what it is that you think about something, what will end up happening is this. What you'll end up doing is you'll think what you want to think. You'll believe what you want to believe. But guess what you don't have? Information. Good old information. And I'm going to tell you why information is very key when it comes to stuff like this. Information is very key because you got to get some type of wisdom and understanding when it comes to all these things. Shout out to my guy, Christopher Taco Tony in the building. Taco, what's good with you, brother? Glad you're tuning in today. Felice, glad you're tuning in too. Kimberly Patterson, I'm glad you're tuning in as well. Thank you, my sister. Appreciate y'all. And Sometimes you got to get all the information, people. And, you know, oh my gosh, y'all. This is just very near and dear to me because, you know, I've gone through many situations where a lot of times, sometimes we don't want to talk to people directly, right? Sometimes it's, and I'm gonna tell you this, people. It's always good to go straight to the source, and I'm gonna tell you why it's good to go straight to the source because you don't have to assume nothing. You don't have to act like that something else is going on. Lady D, what's going on, girl? How y'all doing? Nanette, what's going on? Yes, it is. It's C Jeff time. It is, Nanette. Some of y'all know what this is, but Nanette knows what this is. And it is this time to talk about some things because some of y'all don't know, but you gonna know today. So the thing is, y'all, like I'm saying, is you have to get information. You know, the Bible says to get wisdom, but above all, gain understanding. So if you think you know something, make sure you understand what you know as well. Can I teach to a few of y'all today? Just a few of y'all. Because the problem that I have is I see a lot of people just making rash decisions, acting very quickly on stuff that they probably don't know nothing about. Okay. Some of y'all might catch that when you get home. See, you're going to make me talk like the pastor now, like the preacher now. Some of y'all going to catch that when you get home, but I need you to catch this now because I'm going to tell you something. If you want to make sure you have a successful year, if you want to make sure you are successful at anything that you want to do, you have to stop moving quickly and making rash decisions that can affect your future. This means people use some damn wisdom. I got to say it. Use some wisdom out here because the thing is, what you got to do is, man, I get it. I understand, people. And I'm talking to myself because this is what happened to me today. I understand. Sometimes we look at certain situations, and since we are in our own feelings pertaining to certain situations and or, how can I say it, problems or situations that go on in our lives, right? We want to always respond in an emotional way sometimes. And you know what? I tell my wife this all the time. I say, baby, I'm going to try to give you the most logical response that we go give because the facts are the facts. How I feel right now, it does matter to an extent. But sometimes what you have to do is you have to put those feelings aside. And when you put those feelings aside, you have to look at what's right in front of you. Sometimes you might have to ask some questions. Sometimes you might have to go ahead and do a deep dive. Sometimes you might even have to just chill out and think for a little bit. Process the information that you already have been given and think to yourself, was I in the wrong? And I tell people this all the time, and I'm going to tell y'all this, I'm going to say it even more on the show. The thing is this, y'all. Before you start to look at what somebody else is doing, because I didn't do this today, so I need somebody else to do this. Before you look at what somebody else is doing, be willing to look at the mess that you got going on first. Can you do that? Be willing to look at all the crap that you got going on first because you ain't perfect out here. Let me tell you something. For every two-way discussion that happens, somebody is going to misconstrue something. Like today, I misconstrued information, and that resulted in me snapping when I didn't need to snap. And I'm able to figure this out at the end after I processed everything. And what I did was I went back and I apologized. And I don't care if the person don't accept my apology or not. Sometimes you have to apologize and make things right for yourself. So you can move the heck on and you can let bygones be bygones. You can bury the hatchet. You can say, this is it. This is all that happened. And then boom, bada, that, bam, wash your hands and walk the heck away. I wish I had that other camera on my face so that way y'all could kind of see me a little bit better. Maybe I could put it a little closer. I could say move in, and then you could really see like the wrinkles and crinkles in my eyes to scare all that there. Because it's too much of this mess going on. We'd have just started the whole new year. It'd have been about 3, 4, 5, 6 scandals. People looking for publicity. Talking about saying yes to the dress. Okay. $2 whore talk. Okay. There's some molestation in the game. It's a lot that's going on. Can I tell y'all? It is a lot that's going on. A president that's still wilding out and acting a fool too. Y'all got to find a way to have some peace around here. Y'all got to find some type of way to have some peace. And if you already got peace, I would really say to you, please protect yours at all costs. Protect it at all costs. Don't allow somebody to come in here and go ahead and throw you off from what you got going on because somebody else want to act a fool with you. Y'all, we only 11 minutes into this, and I feel like I done gave y'all the whole dang show. But you know what? It's okay. I'm going to fill in this time because we're going to talk about a couple steps here. Now, remember like I said in the beginning, if you want to go ahead and enter into a situation where you want to start talking about what somebody else was doing, A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, lying is one thing. I'm going to tell you this. In the situations that I get in, you're not going to catch Life Coach Jeff in a lie. You might catch me in my feelings about a certain situation because I'm human. You feel me? And again, I like to before I knock on anybody else's door, I knock on my door first. So this is how you're going to catch me. Sometimes you might catch me in my feelings about something. Sometimes I might have to walk away from some mess. Sometimes I might have to process, think, the whole nine. Now, this is normal stuff that all of us should be doing. Not just myself. This is normal stuff all of us should be doing so that we could create a better internal self for us, okay? Because I told y'all earlier, what you want to do is you want to protect that peace. And sometimes protecting your peace means not trying to control what somebody else is doing or not trying to control a certain situation so you could have a great outcome for you. Sometimes what controlling and maintaining your peace is and protecting it, what that is you having control of yourself and your own actions. If you want to go ahead and have some positivity in your life, do some positive stuff in your life. You can be negative all you want. Go ahead, do that. Go ahead. You just going to be on the other side of the room. Life Coach Jeff going to be on the other side with the positive people. While you out here always talking about woe is me, a situation always going on, whoop-de-woo, bam, bam, all this other stuff. Thank you, ma'am. Life Coach Jeff ain't got time for that mess. We are walking in the realm of positivity, and we are trying to move forward in anything that we do. And aside from today, while I did have this situation go on at work, guess what? I got a call today from one of my boys. Shout out to Timmy Shelto in the building, content creator. My man goes viral with a lot of stuff he do, right from Gary, Indiana. You know, me and him, we in the same backyard, baby. So shout out to Timmy Shelto. He has a friend named Brian. Brian reached out to me today and said he wants me to help him get his setup together for his podcast and his studio. Shout out to you, Brian, because you the GOAT out here, because you want to take advantage of something in your life and you want to make it better. And guess who the resource is? Ding, Life Coach Jeff. So I say all this to say this. If you need some help trying to set up your podcast or your radio show or anything like that, hit your boy up. I got you. But that's on that straight and narrow with what? That positivity and moving forward I was talking about. Y'all thought a brother was just going to talk about himself to talk about himself. No, it's very relevant to the conversation that's going on now. Like I said, what you have to do is you have to stay on that straight and narrow, and you have to do those things that are going to be positive to you in your life and that meet the goals and the distance that you are trying to go. That's what you got to do. So you ain't got time to be dwelling on this mess. You ain't got time to be focusing on this, all of this craziness, all this stuff that's going around. What's the word we be saying? Fugazi? That's going around. You ain't got to be worried about all that. Stick to you and stay in your lane. Can I just drop the mic? Because I almost dropped the whole mic right there. Stick to you and stay in your lane. Like right now, I'm having some technical difficulties with something, but y'all don't know that. It's behind the scenes. Y'all don't know that. But what you got to do is you got to keep rolling with what you got, because I got a message for y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, through it all, keep going. My great-grandmother used to say something when she was alive. God rest her soul. She used to say, keep living. And, you know, I understand what the old folks say when they mean keep living. That's one situation you done been through. And you going to let this one situation in this one moment define everything that you got going on. Baby, I ain't got time. Your boy, Life Coach Jeff, don't have no time. So the question is, why do you have time? Why do you have time to entertain those things that don't pay you no mind? Right now, and we are 11 days in. Am I right about this? We are 12 days in the new year. and you still letting mess affect you. You still letting other people's ish bother you. You still trying to go ahead and really care about what everybody is saying or doing to you, not realizing and understanding that you actually have control of your own life. And let me tell y'all, a lot of times, y'all, we bring a lot of this craziness on ourselves. Can I just be real with y'all? Can I step in your corner sometimes? Sometimes with the decisions and the things that we do and the choices that we make, we put a lot of this stuff on ourselves. And you're going to do one or two things. You either going to buckle under pressure or you just going to admit it to yourself. And I'm going to tell you, the world is a lot easier for you if you just admit to yourself that you made a choice. And whether you chose to make the choice that you wanted to make, you have to, what did Alonzo say to Jake in the car? You made a decision, you have to live with your decision. I'm telling you, just like Jake said to Alonzo, you chose to take the drugs. So you got to live with your decision. I'm just saying, baby, you chose to go ahead and believe what you wanted to believe without getting all the information and all the facts. And now you got to backtrack, make sure the stuff is right. And then when you backtrack, make sure all the information is right. You got to now go back around and you have to be the bigger person. And you have to say two words that you had too much pride to say in the beginning, or you didn't even want to say at all. I'm sorry. Why put yourself through all that, yo? Why put yourself through all that when you can use a little bit of the wisdom that God gave you? Just a smidget. I ain't telling you to use all of it. I'm telling you to use it for that particular situation that you were in at that time that is causing you to go whatever, fly off the handle, misconstrue some information, the whole nine. And again, I'm saying this because I feel victim of this today. And I'm not going to have this for 2026. Not for me. It starts off with you first. See, that's why I say all this stuff to y'all, man. Like I said, I'd rather put myself on the chopping block because a lot of y'all don't like to be on the chopping block. Y'all don't want to sit up here and have somebody tell you what's actually going on in your life, maybe something that you have to work on. It's just called a word that starts with an A and ends with a Y, accountability. That's all it is. And if we would all move just a smidget closer each day just to get better, I'm not sitting up here saying that you got to be perfect at it. You got a long life to live, yo. You ain't going to be perfect at nothing that you do. You could be great in it. You could be exceptional. But you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. So I need you to get off the high horse. I need you to bring it down to the level that we all on. And say to yourself today, you know what? I got some faults too. There's some things I need to work on. Maybe I can go ahead and have some better communication skills out here. Maybe I can go ahead and learn how to talk to people. Maybe I can learn how to go ahead and really learn how to work with people, build with them, learn how to leverage situations. Ooh-wee. Y'all don't get me started about that leverage. Do not get me started about leverage. I always tell everybody, leverage every opportunity that you have. Every opportunity. You have to see how it can work for you, and a lot of times not how you can work for it. Because if you have to work for it, it's not going to benefit you. It has to work for you, and you have to see how the heck it's going to work for you. Y'all got me going today for real. Man, y'all don't understand, yo. When stuff hits home, it hits home. And when that accountability goes hard, that accountability goes hard. And I got another thought too, but see, I can't say that thought. That's an internal thought. See, some of y'all got to understand there's a season and a time to say certain things. Again, see, I'm going in that stage right now where I'm processing the information. Okay? I'm processing some information right now because I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm processing the information right now. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should have did something. And I'm going to put that on me because I didn't do a certain thing before I came on the air. So before I pass blame or a buck to anybody, I'm going to say, you know what, Jeff? Yeah, maybe you should have did this before you happened to come on. Now, you're still visible to your people, and you can still be heard. But there's just one key element that's missing. Y'all don't know what that is. But y'all, we in the building, baby. Once again, we are here on WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago on the Jeff Releford Show. And we are talking about communication and understanding today. That's what we talking about. That's what we hitting on. I've had a lot to say just within 20 minutes already. If you stuck around, you a real one. You a G out here. If you stuck around for this 20 minutes, because I got 40 more. I got 40 more. If you don't want to hit a reel, get off now. I'm just saying, yo. I'm just saying, you know. And another thing that kind of just burns me up is, again, stop being in your emotions when it comes to these situations. And there's a time, and I'm going to tell you this, because, again, this is stuff I have to say to my wife. Monix is in the building. Hey, what's going on, big dog? I see you with the eyes. I see you. I know it. You paying attention. I see you, big dog. And I'm glad that you are doing good. I'm glad that you are doing great. I'm glad that everything is going pretty good for you right now, big dog. And listen, I miss you. You are loved. And I'm glad that you were just in good spirits and strength, sir. So I have to say that. So big shout out to the boy, Monix in the building. Media Monix in the building. And, you know, sometimes, like I say this all the time, there's a time and a place for you to be in your emotions. A time and a place. So I'm not even going to sit up here and tell you that, no, you just should never be in your emotions all the time. I'm not even going to I'm not going to sit in front of this camera or be on these airwaves and tell you never to ever do that. No. Because, again, what do I tell you all the time? You are a human. You are human, okay? There's a time and a place for you to be in your emotions about certain things. But it needs to be short-lived. I am going to tell you that. It needs to be short-lived. Because if you continue to stay in that, uh-oh. Here we go. There go my boy. There go my boy. You have to manage your emotions on purpose. Monix, you cussing at the people right now. Don't cuss at the people, Monix. Don't do that. Don't do that. And we're going to kind of ease right into what he said, you know. Like I said, there's a time and a place for all that to happen, but it needs to be short-lived. So then we're going to move into what my guy said. You have to manage your emotions on purpose. On purpose. That means you have to be intentional with what you're trying to do. You can't play around with it. You can't say, as my great-grandfather said, you can't pussyfoot around the information and the knowledge. You can't do that. You have to really take it into account, and you got to move forward, and you got to figure out if you want to be the best version of you. I said it to y'all before. That ain't on your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your granny, your cousin, sister, bro. That ain't on nobody. That's on you. Whew, okay. What did my man say? And do it as a practice. Now, see, he coming to y'all on a lighter note. I just came at y'all real hard. But he's going to say practice. And I highly agree with that. Practice. Practice does makes perfect. As I said to you earlier, you're not going to be perfect at this head on. So you gotta practice this thing. Like, just take little chunks out of it. Take small little chunks out of it. Nobody's telling you to sit up there and be like, oh, I'm going to just be this super duper person the next day. No, if you was a little mean and you was a little rude, work on you being a little mean and rude. You know, just be honest. You have to be honest with yourself first. That's the part. You have to be honest with yourself about anything in these situations before you can start to put in the work. Because if you're not honest with yourself about who you are, where you coming from, how you feel about all this stuff, it's going to be very hard. And I say very hard because sometimes I want y'all to get uncomfortable. That's why I say it's going to be very hard. For some of y'all, this might be very easy, but you haven't tried it yet. So you're not going to know. So as of now, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be very hard for you to go to the next level if you can't do that. And if you want to prove me wrong, do it. Prove me wrong and change yourself for the better. That's what I'm going to say to you. Woo. You can't wait to feel like it. That's true, brother. That's true. Y'all, I'm trying to tell you, I'm coming in today. I'm going in. And I'm trying to cook a little bit. Some of y'all let me take the pot. Y'all let me stir it. Y'all let me add some sauce to it. Y'all let me say a couple things. And, yeah, I'm grateful for that. So, ooh, wait, what did Kim say? Hold on, y'all. See, we get a group chat, too, with our people and our friends. They say, I'm cutting up today, baby. Your boy is cutting up. See, I should stop the show in about 30 minutes, but I can't do that. I just can't do that Because y'all need to get this information. Y'all need to get this knowledge. So again, like I said to y'all, learn how to manage your emotions. Just manage them. Nobody, again, because some of y'all get overly emotional when I say stuff like that. Just manage them. You're not going to be perfect with it. Just learn how to move to and fro. Learn how to move about with everything. Learn how to make something happen a little bit better for yourself. Okay? Now that we got that out the way, now since you're managing your emotions, start changing your mindset. Okay? So, like I said earlier, changing your mindset consists of you accepting something about yourself that you haven't accepted before. You might know you could be a certain way, but in order to invoke some type of change, what you have to do is you have to accept that you are a certain way first. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. Step into Life Coach Jeff world for a little bit. I knew in my younger years that I could be a bit of an a-hole. Okay? I knew this. I knew with how I looked at people, how I looked at the world. Y'all got to remember, when I was younger, too, I was studying the Bible a lot. So sometimes you have to be very careful when you study a spiritual reference to anything. And if you're trying to become that thing or you're trying to do that thing, again, that is about your own peace. That is about your own life being better. That doesn't mean that you're better than other people. I want to say that, and I want to make that very clear. Because a lot of us, when we get into these spiritual situations, we think that because we're learning how to be better and there are people that don't do the same thing we do, that they're automatically not good. And that's not the case. A lot of people just haven't tapped into that side of themselves yet to say, okay, you know what? I do something wrong, but you know what? I could get better. They just haven't tapped into that yet. They have to realize that for themselves. A lot of times, you can't make nobody go the distance. They have to want to go that distance themselves. So, again, I could be a little bit of an a-hole. So throughout this transition, what I had to do is over the years, I had to keep admitting this to myself. So now I can listen to people talk. I can listen to their stories all the way through. I had to learn and teach myself, y'all. I had to learn and teach myself not to pass judgment so fast on people. Like, yo, that was hard for me. Because, again, like I said, I was on this spiritual journey as I'm reading stuff, as I'm looking at things. I'm looking at myself, and I'm working so hard to do these things, and I'm like, how come everybody else isn't? But then when you finally get it in your head that people are just going to be people, and you can't control what anybody else does, the only thing that you could control is what you do, life tends to be a heck of a lot different when you start to realize how much you are in control of a lot of situations. And some of y'all might be sitting up here listening or watching and really thinking to yourself and saying, look, I might have did something bogus. I might have done something wrong. I need to switch something up. You know, I need to switch something up. Maybe I can go ahead and change something in my life a little bit for the better. Maybe I should have never cussed out that person last night that I was talking to. Maybe I should have took the time to actually listen to somebody, and hear something through rather than jump to my own conclusions, because what I chose to do was I chose to be in my emotions, emotions. So when I tell y'all that this is real, like I didn't come to play today. I didn't come to play. Again, we 12 days into this year, and too much has happened. Too much. The Bears winning was the high note. Go Bears. There we go. But when we sit up here, and we almost went crazy on that too. We almost went crazy on that. Like, we really thought that they was going down. 14-3, my butt fell asleep. And then they was like, we won. I was like, dang, okay. Got your boy. But anyway, what did my boy Monik say? He said the whole goal behind that is to love them through their faults. And I want to tell you something, brother. That is very key. You have to love people in their imperfectness. Like, you have to learn how to love people in their imperfections. Like, Jesus. Don't get me started about loving people through their imperfections, because I'm going to tell you, and honestly, when you learn how to do that, you learn how to love everyone. You can work, and if you work on that with one person, that's how you work on that overall with everybody. I'm serious. Just start with one person. For a lot of us people, it's us married folk. You know, I'm talking to a lot of us married folk. because as time goes on, you get irritated with people. You don't want to be around them. You don't want to do certain mess. You don't want to do nothing. And I'm being for real, y'all, because I've been through that, and that junk is real. It's real. You have to love people through their faults. You have to look past the mess that they do. Like, let me tell y'all this, real talk. Okay, y'all know, again, I put my own life out there. I'm about to say it. I got to say this before. The views that are expressed on this Biggs Radio are not necessarily the views by Biggs Radio or its affiliates or my wife. I have to add that in there as an extra caveat because I'm about to let y'all into my life. So I have to put that in after. So if you're listening, baby, you know how I roll. Everything is a teachable moment. And this is more about me than it is you. So I tell my wife I do this all the time. There are times that when my wife is talking to me that I have to take out her feelings when she's talking about a situation, and I have to hear her. Now, what makes this hard for me is the fact that my wife has a lighter voice. She talks very warm and lighthearted. And sometimes when that comes out, it comes out as whining. To me, now I have to specify this, to me, because once again, Life Coach Jeff is on the chopping block, not you. So there's a teachable moment in this. So what I had to do is I had to learn how to look past the what I think is whining and then learn to listen to what's being said so I can focus on what's actually being said rather than the emotion that's behind it. Now, some of y'all might get that a little later on. But to just plainly say this to you, just to plainly say it, focus on what's being said. That's it. Don't focus on nothing else. If anybody tells you that the sky is blue, be like, oh, okay, let me go see if the sky is blue. Don't care about if they was angry, upset. No, they just told you that the sky was blue. Focus on the facts first. That's how you learn to love people. That's how you learn to get over that hump with somebody who's in your life, who you have to put up with for the rest of your life. And I say put up with because, y'all, that's how it is, y'all. I'm just talking to my folk out here. Y'all know how it is. We don't have to really put up with our people. We chose them. I guess you could say we got to put up. Anyway, I ain't trying to get in trouble out here. But, y'all, again, this is a teachable moment. That's what I mean by learning how to love people through what you think is a fault. And then when you love somebody through their faults, sometimes somebody can be treating you bad and not knowing that they're treating you bad, or sometimes they know I knew I was being an a-hole, so I had no excuse. There's some people who walk around here, they don't know that they're actually treating people that bad, and sometimes that's just going to be them. You let that be them. And sometimes if you truly know a person, that's loving somebody through their faults. That's what that is. And a lot of times, I get it. Jesus. It can be very hard to love people through their faults. Like, I dealt with that with my ex-wife. My ex-wife was very quiet, very closed off to people, did not want to go outside, thought to a certain extent and point that I didn't have any friends, which is kind of crazy, but that's a whole nother story, a whole nother show. Wild, crazy. So, like, that was something I had to learn to deal with. So now, being with my ex-wife, who was not wanting to do anything, really, and then being with my now current wife who wants to do everything, that was a change for your boy. That was a change, But I was with my ex-wife, married to her for 3 years, with her for a whole 10 years. So I had to love her through some faults. If y'all ever heard me tell the story about my ex-wife, Jesus, it is a story. And that is something we can all learn from too. But not today. I'm just letting y'all know. You have to learn to love people through their faults. And it'll teach you how to love everybody through what you got going on. Shout out to Francine Miles, Auntie Francine in the building. She's not really my auntie, y'all. I used to live next to her, and then I moved and everything. Miss Francine is amazing out here, along with Joe, her husband Joe. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all good people. I love y'all. Dr. Al Greer's in the building. Shout out to the doctor, the peanut butter brother, on Bedtime Stories. Now, let me tell y'all something about Al Greer out here, okay? Al Greer has bedtime stories, And that first hour, he be going in. But that foreplay, y'all, I was told that foreplay was a hot mess. And when I tell you that brother be going in with the music, if you got your lady next to you, fellas, or the one that you love, just letting you know, Al Greer trying to set you up. He trying to make sure your night is right. That's all I got to say about Al Greer's show. Y'all tune in to Bedtime Stories, y'all. Please, on WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago. He be going in doing his thing out here. And so I just want to bring that up real fast, real quick, so y'all can hear about that. But yeah, y'all, we talked about accepting things about yourself, loving people through their faults. We talked about Jesus. I forgot. I didn't say so much in the beginning. Jesus, look, you just got to catch the replay, okay? But the thing is this. The next thing I want to mention, y'all, and the final thing that I really want to mention to y'all is that in order to do this, and in order to do anything that you have to do, when we start talking about communication and understanding, you have to change your whole mindset. Now, I talked about perception earlier, so let me dive into that a little bit more, because this is the key thing that's going to really help you change your mindset. You have to start changing your own perception of what it is that you think you see in people. So this means you have to go out and you have to start asking questions. You have to go and sometimes, and let me tell y'all, these are the hard conversations that you have to have. You know how many times your boy had to double back around and ask a question for more clarity and understanding? And to know, I'm telling y'all, for me to know that I was in the wrong, it was embarrassing for me. It was embarrassing for me. But I had to do it, because once you do it for yourself, it's a lot better for you. It's freeing, right? It's freeing. So sometimes you have to be willing to let that joker go. So you have to change your perception about what you think and how you feel about people. If you think that the world is against you, that's all the heck you're going to see. That's all you're going to see. If you think nobody is in your corner and nobody supports you, that's what you're going to continue to see and continue to think. But if you see good people in the world, if you believe that there are good people in the world, nobody's telling you to be naive. Again, use wisdom. You're not going to go into nobody's car if they're telling you, hey, I got some candy or I got $1 million in this car. Use wisdom. I'm just saying, letting you know right now, wisdom. But you have to change that mindset. This is the thing that's going to change everything for you. And I'm talking about everything. At every foundational level of you wanting to change your life, you have to change the way that you think. If you don't believe me, try to start a habit right now. You want to lose weight? What do you have to do? You got to go to the gym. Okay, it's one thing to get up, but you have to motivate yourself. You have to change your whole mindset and your process of how you think about yourself in order to get your butt up, go to the gym, want to work out, and lose some weight. Again, if you don't believe me, apply mindset to any situation that you're doing and tell me that you look me in my face and tell me you don't have to think differently. Prove me wrong. Again, this is just life. I'm not going ahead. I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm not trying to sit up here and tell you what to do and how to live. These are just a few little things, that tidbits of information that I can give you that have helped life coach, so that way I can go ahead and life coach back to y'all. I'm just saying. Follow me if you want to. But if you don't, I'm okay with that too. So, y'all. I done went in for 40 minutes. It just seemed like 20-minute intervals. It's the 20-minute interval game. You know, that's what it seemed like. It seemed like we had the 20-minute interval game, because I know y'all listening. I know y'all paying attention, because we got comments. We got some good interaction here. Y'all are paying attention out here. And one thing I need y'all to do is, when you're trying to change your mindset, can we not be lax with this? Can we not say we just going to apply it to this one situation and then don't apply it to the next? Because what some of us like to do is we like to pick and choose who we give our love to. We like to pick and choose who we going to show love to. We like to pick and choose just by the day, minute, hour, or even the second, okay, of if you going to see the wrath of us or if you going to see the love in us. And I implore all of y'all today, just try some type of way so people can see the good in you. Again, You're not going to be perfect at none of this. But if something happens, don't go out flying off the handle and you don't have all the information. Don't go snapping and you don't know what the hell going on. Don't go acting a whole complete fool out here. Please don't. Because a lot of times, let me tell you something. We think that us being calm and getting played makes us look like a fool. But a lot of times, when you start to open up your mouth and give your own opinion without all the facts, that makes you look more like a fool than you shutting up and being quiet and going along with the process. I know I might have stepped in somebody's back door today. I know I might have stepped in somebody's corner today. I get it. I get it. I understand. I know what's popping right now. But you got to figure that out for yourself. Do you know what's popping? Do you know what's going on right now? Have you actually took the time to say to yourself, look, this is who I am. That's what we talked about again, people. Knowing who you are. Admitting some things to yourself so you can make that change. And then we moved right along to more of that taking that accountability, making sure that you on that right path, not letting people throw you off from your square, the whole nine. And now we're talking about your whole mindset shift. You need to understand, people, that this is not an overnight thing. This is something that's going to take time. But the only way that you want to get good at this is that you have to literally do it on your own. The scripture says faith without works is dead. You can't have faith in something that you want to change, or have faith in the fact that you want to change something about you and not take the time to do it. What is that going to accomplish? Nothinng. I've been spelling a lot of words today. That spells nothing. That's not going to accomplish anything for you. Nothing for you. Because you did not take the time to go ahead and make sure you were giving it your all to make sure that you could see the result that you want to see. I'm glad Lady D told me to preach. Okay? Because I'm going to keep on. I'm going to keep on. I told y'all I didn't seen too much of it this year. We 12 days in, and it's just something that's really just bothering me. That's really just throwing me off with all this, because I feel that I don't want people to start off the new year with missed opportunities. I don't want people to start off their new year with hate in their heart. I don't want people to start this new year off thinking that you are entitled to something. Now, if that hit your back door, I'm sorry. That don't mean it was for you. But if you thought it was for you, it just might be for you. I'm just saying. These are the things that I've been seeing. These are the things that I've been noticing. And the life coach can say this stuff because I take the flack for it. I really don't care. I told y'all a situation that was going on in my life. You want to tell me what's going on in yours? I'm just saying. So don't beat up the messenger, baby. Maybe you just don't like the message. Whew. Lord, y'all know how to keep this brother going. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all really know how to push a brother's buttons. And y'all know when I had to go ahead and I had to apologize, I felt a little bit of pride right there in the heart. Right there. Felt a little bit of pride. Because I felt like I didn't have to do that. And a lot of times what we have to realize, y'all, is that apology is not a sign of weakness. Okay? Apology is not a sign of weakness. What apology is, it's a sign of humility to the person that you have to apologize to, and then you flip that right back to yourself. Because again, y'all, I don't know how many times I could stress this to y'all. It is about protecting your peace. Y'all know how many times I sat in front of somebody, had to apologize and didn't want to do it. And then they sit up here and say, Jeff, why are you apologizing? You want to know why I apologize? Because, baby, maybe that wasn't for you more than what it was for me. It was more so for me than what it was for you. So that I can move on from something and say, all right, look, your boy is done. Just don't push your boy's buttons no more. You push a button, you just might end up getting an alert. You know, they tell you in school, don't push the red button. They teach you this in cartoons. They teach you this stuff. But what do? We like to push the red button sometimes. We like to poke the dang bear. Stop poking the bear, because sometimes, fool, you just might get bit. Who knows? You might get bit by Life Coach Jeff one day. I don't know. But don't find out, though. Don't find out. I'm going to let you know that's not going to be the first thing I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a lot of quietness. I'm going to give you a lot of politeness. I'm going to give you a lot of, okay, no, I feel what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. Okay. I'm going to give you a lot of that. But then I'm going to let you know there's only so much that one person can take. So I'm just saying, you got to learn something out here. And this is a two-sided coin. Can I say this? Okay. Let me sit up straight. Let me say this. This is a two-sided coin. This is a double-edged sword. The situation I was in, for every action, there was a reaction, which means it takes two people to have an argument. Have you ever tried having an argument with yourself? You look real dumb. You look real crazy out here talking to yourself. Have you ever tried having an argument with yourself? Okay, let me know. Let me know. You haven't? Good, because you know how it looks. It takes two people to argue, two people to fuss. So this is a double-edged sword. The person, both people believed that they was wronged. I believed I was wronged. And the person at work thought that they was wronged. So with me going through this particular situation, I was the one who had to double back around and think about something because they weren't going to do it. And a lot of times you have to know who you're working with too. A lot of people can be very stubborn. You don't need to be the stubborn person set in their ways. Strive to be different from that. It's a double-edged sword. It takes two people to argue. It takes two people to fuss. It takes two people to act a whole complete fool with each other. So why don't you just take the time to understand and get some wisdom out of it? Why not? What's stopping you? Again, it's not a sign of weakness, people, to go ahead and want to have understanding when it pertains to certain situations that go on in your life. It's not a sign of weakness to apologize. It's not a sign of weakness to say, I'm sorry for something. Even if you didn't have the intentions on doing whatever it was you did. Like, it wasn't my intention to go to work and snap on dude today. That was not my intention to go to work and snap on him today. That was not what I was trying to do. That's not how I was trying to live my life. That wasn't even in my ministry. That ain't even the way I was trying to go. But guess what? It happened. So I even had to round about and say that to the brother. This is exactly how I apologized. I said, hey, brother, listen, I'm very sorry for what happened. I know I'm sorry. I should have never came off to you that way. There's no excuse for my behavior and why I did what I did or I said what I said. Now, this is me saying this, not him. Me saying this. And I said, you know, brother, listen, I just want to go ahead, understand what you meant, understand what you were trying to say, because it seemed like you were upset. It seemed like you were snapping, you know. And then they came back to me and said, well, you know what, Jeff? Yeah, you know, that's not really what I was trying to do. I was trying to explain to it. I got a lot going on with A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 whoop-de-woo. I went back. I apologized, put some accountability on myself, and then I wanted to gain some understanding. So in turn, that person on the other end of the conversation knew that's what I was trying to do, and they gave me some clarity as well. So why is that so hard for us to do? I tell you why it's hard for us to do, because a lot of times we have pride. And we do not want to put that pride aside in order, okay? In order to see a resolution. I've been there in my younger years where I stood firm in what I believed in, because at that point, it really didn't matter what you thought. It really didn't matter what the heck you wanted to tell me. It really didn't matter what you were going to say about anything in the situation, even if you were going to smooth it over with me. It did not matter. And you want to know why it didn't matter? It didn't matter because I had too much pride within me to want to hear. Can I say this? I had too much pride in me to want to hear what it was that somebody would have to say to me. Because I thought I was right. Whew. Baby, I thought I was right. And when I thought I was right, that changed up everything. But when I found out that maybe, hey, there's another side to the story, and maybe I could switch it up a little bit, and I could try to gain some understanding so I can use my wisdom that I have so I can know what's going on completely in a situation, that changed my whole mindset in the way I need to think about that person. So it went from I can't stand A, B, C, X, Y, and Z about this one all the way to, okay, all the way to, now I'm giving this person a chance. And if somebody shames you once and you didn't say nothing about it, can I tell you something? Who that on? Who that's on? That's on you. Because you didn't try to defend anything, or you didn't try to say or tell them how you felt about something that was said about you. That's your fault. Okay? Because I've been there too, where somebody said something about me and I know it was said and I heard them say it, but I didn't address it. I should have addressed it, because all it did was make me get angrier every time I watched a certain person do something or say something. And I either knew they was lying or they was overreacting. It made me not want to deal with them no more, because it turns into a progressive state. When you go ahead and somebody do you wrong and you know about it and you pacify it, at some point in time, that same anger that you felt in a certain situation or a certain time period when you know and you heard what they was doing or saying about you, it's going to bring up all that anger again. So that now all you doing is keeping tally. All you doing is keeping score. To where if you were to rectify a situation and give somebody a chance and then not really care, not really care. I said it 2 times. Not really care about what's going on so you can go ahead and move on. I'm just saying, y'all, again, these are all things that I have had to do. I'm not trying to tell you to do it. I'm just saying that maybe there might be a better way to look at something so it can help you out just a smidget. That's all I'm saying. So why don't y'all go ahead and take the time to do that? Assess some things that's going on in your life. Look at what's happening and look at what's going on. Take the time to say to yourself, hey, man, I'm here. This is me. I accept this about me and who I am. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing, because this is the thing, y'all. When you start admitting things to self, okay? When you start admitting things to self, everything doesn't have to be bad. Admit those good things about yourself, you know? Because while we're trying to change, we could think so much bad about ourselves sometimes that we forget that we are actually good people. We forget that we are great people. So while you're going through this process, remind yourself that you are good as well. And if nobody even tells you that you're good, please tell yourself that. Can you do that for me? Tell yourself that you are actually a good and decent person and that you are human. And sometimes, just sometimes, we tend to slip up and we tend to say the wrong thing. All right, y'all. I think that's how I'm going to end it today. I'm going to give y'all some quick shout outs. Big shout out to Dinah Lynn Biggs, Al Greer, Francine Miles, Vince Vincent, Lady D, King KC in the building. Kim Patterson, who else we got? Bully Lady. Shout out to Bully Lady, man. Your music is fire. I love it. Great beats. The sound is good. I love it. Shout out to Bully Lady in the house. Sean Lee, Darrell Walker. Darrell Walker will actually be on the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast, the R3 podcast, this Wednesday. Okay? Darrell Walker has Queens Healing House. It is going to be a good show on Wednesday. Y'all need to pay attention to Wednesday. It's going to be a great show because Dara is going to do her thing, and she is going to give y'all some health tips, okay? Health is what's hitting right now. So she's going to give y'all some health tips, and we're going to make it happen. So Dara be here on Wednesday. Big shout out to Dara Walker and Christopher Takatoni. Shout out to Taco in the building. Taco, that brother. Taco's going to be doing some tours, going to be doing some things this year. I'm pretty sure we're going to have the brother sitting back in the chair again. So, all right, y'all. I'm tapping out. Guess what? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you live on WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago from the A-Track to the latest app, y'all. Now, listen, coming up after me, we have Julian St. Chris with Mixtape Monday. And then we have Dinah Lynn Biggs on the Dinah Lynn Biggs show. So from 6 to 8 is Mixtape Monday with Julian St. Chris. And then we have the Dinah Lynn Biggs show, okay, from 8 to 10 p.m. So, all right, y'all. Remember, redirect, regroup, refocus, and I love y'all so very much. And as always, I love you all, and peace out. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online Radio Box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go.